Hey guys, new video, new haircut too. I'm sure I'll get a few comments about that. But this is another impressions video on actually not games, demos. Two demos for the 3DS. And one of them you can download right now, like it's for free. And the other one you have to get it through very specific means. But the two demos are Codename Steam and Monster Hunter 4. So I played these demos extensively, and I just thought I'd give my impressions on them and whether or not they've sold me on the games in question. So let's start with Codename Steam. Now this is a game I've seen a lot of hate for this. A lot of it's based on the art style. It's got like this American comic book influenced art style, and a lot of people aren't too thrilled with that. A lot of people think the game looks ugly from videos. Um, and that gets into a thing like it really, I don't know if other people feel this way, but it kind of bums me out when like Japanese developers have their games very specifically aimed at an American audience. I don't know. Every time that happens, I just get a little disappointed because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why. I just do. I wonder if anyone else feels that way. But so it's got that thing going for it, and I'll admit, I'm not a huge fan of this game's art style and the character designs and the humor. And from what I've played of the demo, the story wasn't like none of like the presentation elements to this game did much for me. And I knew this right. I knew this before playing the game, watching the videos. I agree actually with most people. I don't think I'm not really into the art and the style of the game. But gameplay looked really fun every time I've seen it. Obviously, this game's developed by Intelligent Systems. Um, they're known for a lot of strategy titles, Advanced Wars, Fire Emblem. They also do like the Paper Mario games. So this, as a strategy game, I think, I don't think there was any question that this was going to be a bad game or anything like that. But I was looking forward to it, and I'm glad a demo came out because, yeah, I really dig this. Not to say that there aren't some problems I see, at least with the demo. Maybe they'll be changed in the full game, but um, yeah, a lot of people are hating on the game for the art style, but and maybe some people can't get past that. They find themselves not being able to enjoy the game because they really don't care for that. Luckily, the gameplay is fun enough here that I can get past the story stuff, the visual style, and the character designs. And I think overall the game actually still looks good in motion when you're playing it on the 3DS. Definitely looks better than in videos, but the gameplay is really fun. Now I haven't played Valkyria Chronicles too much. I've played it maybe an hour or so, but it really does feel like a mix of that and XCOM Enemy Unknown, which recently came out a couple of years ago. It actually reminds me of XCOM more than anything else, where you move in like a third person view. You move your character around on kind of like a grid, but there are these open environments. And it's got the Valkyria Chronicles thing going on where you can kind of aim your gun. You have like two weapons for each character, a four-person team. The demo starts you off with only one character, and then eventually you get four characters. And this demo was pretty huge. It took me like 3 hours to play all the missions. You can replay the missions and get medals and stuff like that. So it's got that Valkyria Chronicles thing going on where you have the 3D movement, you have 3D aiming. You can aim with the touch screen or the face buttons, and I imagine with the new 3DS, that analog nub, you could be able to control the aiming. I was using the touchscreen, but after a while it becomes very uncomfortable, and I don't find it to be the ideal way to control the camera and the aiming. I actually much prefer the face buttons, honestly. And once I started using that, I got used to that. But you have your sub weapons. You have steam, which is kind of like your energy for movement, for shooting, and things like that. So it might cost one steam point to move from like one grid space to the next, and you can move like a certain amount of spaces. And it might take three steam power things. I don't know. I'm gonna call them like steam orbs or whatever. It might take three of those to shoot with your weapon. So you can aim at an enemy and shoot. So you're moving in these 3D spaces, but there's, of course, strategy where you have to know where all the enemies are located. And this is where, like, the XCOM comes in, where when you aim at an enemy, it'll show their health meter and then kind of give you an indication of how much damage you're going to be doing depending on how far away you are from the enemy. So you'll shoot the enemy, they'll take damage, and it's your turn. You have each character, shoot an enemy or move or whatever, take their turns, you end, and then it's the enemy's turn, and enemies will move, and if they are up close to you, they'll shoot you. If they're on like a balcony or whatever, they have like a range attack, they might like throw a grenade at you. And at the bottom it shows alien movement, and that meter slowly rises up to tell you that they're moving, and that's like pulled straight from XCOM, which I thought was interesting, as well as the Overwatch, where if you save some steam power, say like enough steam power, and you just end the turn. If an enemy comes in your line of sight, you'll use that remaining steam power you had saved up and shoot back at the enemy. And that's ripped straight from XCOM. Both of those mechanics I loved in XCOM. I love them here. Of course, XCOM had permadeath. This doesn't seem to have permadeath. I think there's more characters in the full game. You only get to play with 4 characters. Each character is completely different. Of course, there looked to have been some customization where you can change their weapons, and then there was like this other thing you could change, some kind of item. You couldn't get any in the demo, so I guess that's another aspect of the game. You were basically going through missions. There was 2 missions. The first mission was like a multi-part mission. The second was just this fairly big mission where you use the 4 characters. You collect money, and I guess your characters rank up the more money you get. And you can kind of like pick up the gold through the maps. There's like kind of like objectives, kind of like beating the missions in a certain amount of turns, and I don't know how that affects like the actual game. Now, the one thing, let's talk about, I guess, some of like the negatives with this demo from what I've seen. The enemy movement phases, I think, take a bit too long, and I've seen some people complain about this. I don't hate it as much as some people do, but it definitely seems to take a bit too long. Sometimes you'll be waiting for quite a while for their enemies to do their turns. I wish there was a way to like speed that up. Maybe there is in the full game. I hope so, at least. But that could actually end up being a deal breaker for some people. So there's that. Another thing I was disappointed in was like, from what I don't know, maybe this isn't the full game, but I wanted a bit more, maybe more RPG elements. Other than like the ranking up system and new weapons, like you're not gaining experience. Your characters aren't really leveling up. I think every time they rank up, their health probably goes up, but from what I've seen, that's about it. So it's mainly a strategy title more so than like a strategy RPG like Fire Emblem, for instance. So that was kind of disappointing for me. I thought I was hoping there'd be more RPG elements, and it's not looking like it's going to be that way. But yeah, that's really about it with the negatives, though. I mean, it is a slow-paced game. Missions take a while, and you got to kind of play defensively, at least. Actually, no. Yeah, you mostly have to play defensively, because if you rush in there, you're gonna get destroyed. It's challenge-wise, it's not the hardest game ever from what I've seen. If you're looking for like a really hardcore strategy title, I don't think this game's gonna satisfy you. But yeah, definitely check out the demo. Even if you've been turned away from the art style, because the gameplay I think is really fun, and I'm pretty much sold on the game. I'm definitely gonna get this day one. So I'm glad this demo came out. So I could finally see what this game was all about. Alright, and finally, Monster Hunter 4. Now, Monster Hunter is a series people either love or hate. I happen to love it. Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii, I put in, I want to say, around 400 hours. I really got into that game. And I didn't play Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate because I found like the added content wasn't enough to really get me to play like more and more hours. But with Monster Hunter 4, there's a lot new monsters, and it's finally like the next sequel. Now, I have been a bit hesitant about this game, even as a Monster Hunter fan, because I like it on consoles, and I know it's kind of a handheld series now, so I was hoping that they'd announce a Wii U version, but it doesn't look like it, at least for the time being, and I was worried about the controls. That's the main thing, because the 3DS, my 3DS doesn't have that second analog stick. I don't have Circle Pad Pro, and it looks uncomfortable anyways. And I'm probably not going to be getting the new 3DS. I don't know, maybe that's for another video, but I'm just not interested in it. Not at the moment, at least. So I thought this demo was going to be a good way to kind of see if I got into these controls, because I was actually iffy on whether I was going to even buy this game or not. And after some time with the demo, yeah, day one for me. I'm actually really excited for this game now. The demo, okay, if you haven't been into Monster Hunter before, if Monster Hunter hasn't been your thing and you haven't liked it, this demo is probably not going to change your mind. It's still Monster Hunter, and the demo actually doesn't do a great job at easing in new players. Monster Hunter's always been one of those series that new players get very I don't know. It's not a very encouraging game for new players. This the way the tutorials are really have been really bad in this series. The demo is kind of it's a lot more basic than I was expecting. I thought there'd be more to it, but I mean, I guess they got to save all the content for the full game, of course. But you've got solo play, and you can do online and local multiplayer in this demo, which is really cool. But there's only hunting in this. You choose the monster you want to hunt. You choose your weapon, and that's it. You get thrown into the thick of things, and you hunt the monster. You have 25 minutes. You hunt the monster, and that's it. You get booted back to the main menu. The Monster Hunter's got a lot more than that. There's like the farming aspects. There's the making weapons and armor. There's a lot of stuff to Monster Hunter. This demo, I wish there was I don't know. They should have probably put that stuff in. I mean, most players that play this and have never played a Monster Hunter game before, they might not even realize there's actually like a hub world to explore kind of in this game, like a village you keep coming back to, and but this you just immediately go out on the hunts. And as far as tutorials go, they'll tell you how to use your weapons, the weapon style, and that's about it. You have to go through the menus to kind of look on how to control the game and things like that. Then again, maybe I should have. There's like a beginner and experienced mode. I went with the experienced mode because it said if you played Monster Hunter before. So maybe the beginner mode has better tutorials. I don't know. But I don't know. The way they just kind of throw you into things, I don't know. I think new players are going to be turned off pretty quickly. But you get 3 monsters to fight. The Great Jaggy, which has been in all the Monster Hunters. And then 2 new monsters, but I've never heard of them. Maybe one of them was in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I didn't play that, so I don't know the monsters there. The Gore of something, Megala, I think, is that 3rd monster, the really tough one. The 2nd one, I already don't remember the name. I gotta remember these names, but I was able to get kill the first 2 monsters solo with other people. I was able to kill the Gore Megala with other people. I tried it solo just once, and I actually ran out of time because 25 minutes. The time limit's usually longer than that, and 25 minutes there wasn't enough for me to kill it. I didn't die, but I used up like all my healing items. Like that 3rd monster, the Gore Megala, it's pretty tough. And then of course you don't get to pick your armor or weapons or anything, so it's kind of I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much to this demo. It's your standard Monster Hunter. Visually, the game's not great. There's a lot of really shitty textures. The environments are pretty colorful, but yeah, this looks worse than I think this even looks worse than Monster Hunter Try on the Wii, to be honest. And apparently the new 3DS on there, this game looks better and has a better frame rate. And I mean, it's not the best looking game ever, but I'll take it. It doesn't really bother me. The controls. I want to talk about the controls. I actually got used to them pretty quick, and I thought I'd hate the controls, but they're honestly actually not that bad. I found myself, I still miss that second stick sometimes, but you can just press the L button if you're facing in the wrong direction. You'll face the monster. So the controls took a little to get used to, but eventually I was fine. I was rolling out of the way, blocking, attacking, and feeling back into that Monster Hunter mood, fighting monsters. And I don't know, the demo's kind of addictive, actually. I've played it for quite a bit, but I've decided to stop now. I messed with all the different weapon types, especially some of the new ones. I'm ready for more Monster Hunter, and I'm afraid, when this game comes out on the 13th, which is pretty soon, I think I'm going to be back into it. I might be very addicted to this game, because, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. The online seemed pretty easy to get into. I don't know if there's some voice chat options. I was just seeing text chat type things. Hopefully there is. I don't know. Again, the demo doesn't show you a whole lot. I mean, I wish they showed you a bit more, and it was better at bringing new players in, because I don't think this is gonna do that at all. Hopefully the full game's better with that stuff, because Yeah, there's a lot of very important aspects of Monster Hunter that they just don't even tell you about in this demo, which is kind of a shame. Like capturing, they don't even tell you about capturing monsters. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's all to say. Um, this demo, the only way to get it, I think, through is through Club Nintendo. They'll email you a few codes if you used Club Nintendo for a while. Otherwise, you might have to do some looking on the internet for one. I think this demo is supposed to come out like a week before the actual game comes out on the eShop. But you have access to the demo. Definitely try it if you haven't played Monster Hunter before. I can't guarantee you'll be able to get into it, but it is a love it or hate it series. I happen to really get into it, but and this demo sold me on the game, which I wasn't expecting. I was really expecting to hate the controls, but they're actually not the worst ever. So yeah, that's it, guys. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.